Plaintiff, Elisha Gray, says she never knew her father. And although her mother did mention a couple of men, she has never been able to find out the truth. Elisha claims the defendant is one of the men in question, so she petitioned the court for a paternity test. Defendant William Salisbury says he had a good relationship with Elisha's mother, but they lost contact, and he didn't even meet Elisha until she was 21 years old. William is eager to find out if Elisha is his daughter.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
You all have petitioned the court to determine paternity, whether you all are father and daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. We can end this case right now. I'll look at the gap in your teeth and the gap in your teeth. And that's the end of that. No, I don't know why y'all come here. Just go to the mirror. Look at the nose and look at the gap. And go on about your business.
Quickest case all season.
That's right. This is the quickest case of the season, like us. But all right, y'all been listening to some gossip probably. And now you go ahead and let these folks gossip y'all into no DNA test. But go ahead. I'll let you start.
Okay, Your Honor. You're right. You know, I do look like my dad, William.
Very much so.
But I just need closure. You know, I've went so many years not really knowing my father. You know, I didn't know who he was. I would ask my mother, my mother passed in 2015, and I would ask her, and it was a couple men in question, but she did mention Mr. William Salisbury. And I'm like, well,
when did she first mention him to you?
It was around 05, 06.
How old were you?
Ooh, I think I was grown. I was like.
How old are you now?
Almost grown. I'm 32 now. So I was about 15, 16.
Okay. 15, 16.
Yeah.
All right. And how did you handle that from that time on?
I honestly, I was devastated.
Why?
A girl not having a father, it hurts. My uncle, he practically raised me. The saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I'm one of them kids. My whole family pitched in. I was told my father, when my mother was pregnant, my father was not in the state. He had moved away. So I don't think he knew that, I was here, or that she was pregnant with his child. So,
got it. Oh, you don't think he knew? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he knew. Yeah,
so I'm not gonna hold it against him too much. Okay.
Yeah. He told me he didn't know. So until later on, until I was like 5 or 6. So which he was in the same state.
Well, let's find out what happened, sir. Let me hear from you.
Well, it was like her mom did tell me she was pregnant, and I was going in and out of state. And we just really lost contact. And I didn't get a chance to meet her until, when she was like 21 years old. She came over to my house.
What state were you going in and out of?
Actually, I was living in Indiana. I was going to California back and forth, and but I was living in Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay, so you were going back and forth from Indiana.
Back and forth.
All right.
Yeah.
Carrying that thing from California, Indiana, and switching it over and having them come from Chicago to pick it up. Got it. All right. So, did you ever catch a case? That's the way he been, baby. He been to prison, going back and forth to California back in the 80s, to Indiana, calling his boys in Chicago, say the laws are too strict over there in Chicago. Y'all gonna have to come over here to Indiana and pick this thing up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but what type of relationship did you have with the mother? And to the extent that she just told you, what was it? The nature of the relationship?
Actually, we had a pretty good relationship. we actually just lost contact for some odd reason.
Were you all just casually dating? Was this you all had a committed relationship?
Yeah, we had a committed relationship, sir. We were seeing each other on a regular basis, and I was pretty serious about it. We just stopped talking for some reason, and I believe that was because I was leaving the city.
How old was she?
She was about 6 years old, sir.
She was 6. Okay. But from 1 to 6, you embraced the fatherhood of her. Okay.
Yeah.
And what caused the difference? You moved or something or what have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I did leave. I did leave Indianapolis.
Okay. And what caused the communication gap?
For some reason, she didn't come around. She knew where my mother stayed, and she didn't. It seemed like she just didn't have any interest to come and see me or even let me send her pictures or anything like that.
Did you know where to find her?
No, I didn't know where to find her.
And she never came over to your mother's and said, please have him contact me because I need some support for this baby?
No, she didn't, sir.
How did you all first connect, sir?
She came to, my daughter came to my house, to my mother's house. I had moved back to Indianapolis, and I heard her and her uncle. I heard a knock on the door, and there was a young lady, and her uncle was like almost 7 foot, big guy, so I was kind of shocked. And he said, well, hey, you're William Salisbury, and I was told that you're my daddy.
How did you respond?
I just looked at her and just smiled. I mean, I took it. I embraced it. I embraced the information. Just took her and invited her in, and we went from there.
All right. And you felt better about things since then, young lady?
You know what? He did embrace me, and he never has denied me.
Good.
I just, he's always loved me, but I just feel that we may look alike, but we just act very different.
You're probably raised differently too. You're probably raised differently. I do believe that there are some genetic transfers with personality. My observation is, they're transferable. And a lot of other families that I know, personalities, a portion of their personalities are the same, and even their body movements. And I don't necessarily attribute that to social. I mean, like I got one buddy, his dad walked like a pimp and he walks like a pimp.
Yeah.
And neither one of them were pimps. And so, ma'am, that's not always the case, but sometimes it is personality. So you're right to look for it. But I'm so glad that you all met and there's been a good relationship and no resentments since then.
Well, Your Honor, at the beginning, it was rough. I just could not pull down that wall. I couldn't pull the wall down, because I just needed to know. I didn't have proof. My mother, like I said, my mother mentioned them, and they had a relationship when I was grown. So they were still seeing each other, on and off, but he's not on my birth certificate. So I don't know where I come from. Like, I know my mother's side, I just don't know my dad's side. So I hope and pray that I'm his, because we have a strong relationship now. We done came a long way.
Yeah.
And you have any other children, sir?
Yes, I have 2 other sons.
Okay. All right. Good. And you've had a relationship with them?
Yes, I do. Yeah, actually, Alicia, she knows my oldest son.
Okay, good. You all associate with each
And that's
other?
her brother.
Good.
Yes, we do. And we act just alike.
All right, good.
He gets on my nerves and I get on his nerves,
There you go. That's what brothers and sisters should do. That's what they should do. Get on each other's nerves.
And it's, it's other reasons too, because there were other men that were, my family told me that could have been my dad, when I was, and I never told my dad, William, about this, but when I was 4 days old, another man tried to kidnap me. So it's just been a rough process.
4 days? Who told you that?
My uncle told me that.
Gossip. I done told you that's what people end up in here for paternity tests, because it's gossip. Yeah, somebody told you got kidnapped at 4 days old. And tell the folks to find a life. No, I'm just kidding. This is your father. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye. That's your father.
Hey, I love you, baby. Hey.
I'm speechless.
I told you I was your daddy.
I gotta preserve these eyelashes, y'all.
Now you're making me cry.
You try to tell me. I was stubborn.
I tell you.